Welcome everyone for Pokemon TCG Pocket edition for the new Lapras EX event. I just wanted to make a quick little guide just based off of my experience from playing a bunch of the expert mode and just playing it on a budget because I've opened a good amount of packs, but I definitely don't have all the I don't have a Pikachu deck. Like I don't have like a single Pikachu or Raichu, and it was a struggle. It was a struggle, and I guess I kind of want to help people out who didn't have very good luck on their pulls and might not have a lot of really good cards to work with, and they still want to do the event, and they still want to beat expert level. And I would recommend trying to go for expert if you can, just because it's 100% guaranteed to get that pack so that you can possibly get that Lapras EX. Because getting a 100% guarantee makes such a huge difference when the stamina takes like 12 hours to recharge. So definitely, I highly recommend doing expert. And this way you can like do it and clear it even if you have like a really bad deck, which I definitely do. I definitely do. And I just wanted to I guess share some tips I guess that I got. Especially since I think I pulled about a total of like 52 promo packs across maybe like 3 accounts, and I got a single Lapras EX out of like 52 packs, which is, I don't know if that's just me having bad luck, but yeah, yeah. Let's get into it. So first off, we're gonna look at her deck. We're gonna look at the Lapras EX deck. There's 2 Psyducks, 2 Golducks, 2 Staryus, 2 Starmie EXs, and 2 Lapras EXs. And then here are the trainer cards as well. The ones to look out for the most, I'd say like the threat level, Starmie EX is like the scariest thing that you can find. Then it's a tie between Golduck and Lapras. It's on one hand, Lapras is potentially the easiest thing to kill if it starts off early at the active spot. If it doesn't, if it's like on the bench and it builds up, then it gets scarier. Golduck also depends. Like if you can kill it as a Psyduck, it's an easy kill. If it gets up, it's all right, but it's not as bad as Starmie and Lapras in terms of like if they have all their energy. Like Golduck is the least threatening of the 3. And then you do have to look out for Sabrina's. So if you have an active, like a lot of times, they will have one of these 3 in their active spot, and if your Pokemon can tank it, and like they'll survive on like 10 or 20 HP, they will Sabrina out your active Pokemon so that they can OHKO and just one-shot something on your bench. So keep that in mind. Like it doesn't happen a lot, but it happens once in a while, like enough to like mention it. And the potions, they do matter sometimes, especially when you're just going for super effective damage, like that 20 HP. It makes a difference. And Misty is just, it's a nightmare. On average, I feel like it's a 50-50 on it gets 1 or it gets none. But then there are occasions where it will get like 11. Like you'll get like 11 energy in a row, and it's just absolutely horrible to see, because typically like turn 1 you're at a disadvantage. So sometimes it's like, oh, I got turn 2, I'm at an advantage, it'll be good. Then they put out a Lapras in their active spot, and they turn 1 Misty and get all of the energy they need, and you're just like, well, I'm going on turn 2, but I'm fighting on a Lapras EX with full energy. Like, it's a really rough start. So Misty is like one of the scariest things in her deck, or in this deck that you fight. Alright, so since we looked at their deck, I'm just gonna give like a little bit of like general rules of thumb while playing that I found. For like your active starting Pokemon that you want to put out, like turn 1, I would really recommend starting with something that has a 1 energy attack ideally. Like, I would highly recommend Farfetch'd. Like, if you have, like, everyone gets a free Farfetch'd. Just, I'm pretty sure, like, everyone just gets a free Farfetch'd, just in general. Like, you just start with Farfetch'd. And it's, like, one of the best Pokemon to start off in your active, like, on a budget. For me, anyways, on a budget. Because you get one, it costs 1 energy, does 40 damage. It's good damage. And if you're playing into a Lapras, that's like the ideal scenario. You just, you go second, you take off 40, they charge up 1 energy, you build up your bench, you take off another 40, they are at like 2 energy, but by that time they usually abandon ship on the Lapras unless they have a bunch of potions and they start healing. But sometimes they abandon ship and they just sack the Lapras and just start building their bench. But yeah, starting off with Farfetch'd or anything that does like 20, or even if you have electric based Pokemon that do like 20 damage, but because it's super effective, it does 40. Like anything that does 1 energy is really good as you're active while fighting the like the enemies. Like, yeah, I'd really recommend just 1 energy so you can just keep doing damage like immediately. And sometimes like you don't get lucky on your draws and you don't have any 1 energy cost Pokemon. Like sometimes I'd run Lickitung just because that's the only basic thing that I drew, and it's like 3, and I'm like, I wouldn't recommend building up 3 cost into your active on the very first turn, because most likely, unless it's like a mirror with the Lapras, you're gonna lose the Lapras mirror because it heals and it has more HP and everything. But if it's not a mirror of like a Lapras, you're gonna be taking damage over time and it's gonna stack up, and by the time that you actually get 3 energy off, you're gonna be almost dead, and you're gonna have no energy on your bench. And the enemy active will have energy on their active as well as their bench. So you're gonna be at a huge disadvantage. So I recommend not starting with something that has a high energy cost. Like, it's, in general, it just doesn't work out very well. So Farfetch or other like basic electric Pokemon are definitely the way to go. From my experience, anyways. Like this little eel, actually pretty huge if you can find it, because 30 damage plus 20 from the weakness is 50. You could potentially OHKO a Staryu on turn 2 and just immediately win the game. Like, it's unlikely, but it's a potential. So like super effective damage, it definitely adds up. Yeah. So I did, and then for her starting actives, okay, so your starting active, her starting actives. Typically, the worst thing you can see is a Staryu. And what makes it even worse is if you see a Staryu in the active bench, as on the active spot, and you see Lapras on the bench. If you see a Staryu on the active and a Lapras on the bench, I think majority of the time that I've played, they have a Starmie EX in their hand. And again, Starmie is like the worst thing you can fight because it can one-shot so many things at 90. 2 is not a lot to cost, and it has a lot of HP as well. So yeah, definitely watch out for the Staryus. If you can kill it on turn 2 immediately, definitely do it. If not, like there's a good chance there's a Starmie EX if they have a Lapras on the bench as well. If it's just a lone Staryu, they might not have the EX. But yeah, if they bench the Lapras, because typically they'll put Lapras out front in the active if they don't have the EX. Yeah. Ideally, the best starting thing that you could see on the enemy active is Lapras EX because it takes so long to build up Bubble Drain. Like, it just stalls out time, and it just gives you 2 points, because if you do kill it, it's an EX, so you get 2 points instead of 1, and it's like you just need 1 more kill after. So ideally, you see Lapras EX on the active enemy active enemy. Okay, and then as for the bench, I think it's really good to have a mix of like 1 cost low energy things that like have low retreat, as well as a couple that have like a little bit more, maybe like maybe 2, 3. Like I really like Pinarchins. I really like Pinarchin. Heliolisk is really good as well. And Electabuzz it's a gamble. It's I don't know where he is. Yeah, it's a gamble. In general, I don't like these gambles because you can do damage to yourself. It's not like a hit or miss. It's a hit, miss, and hurt yourself. So Electabuzz isn't the greatest, but sometimes that's the best you have. Electrode's actually really good. Like 70s, it's pretty good for 2. But yeah, you want to mix in low and high energy because let's just say hypothetically you get super lucky, you get a Zapdos. It's good to have it on your bench because as your active character, like say the Farfetch, is doing damage, you have somewhere to put the energy. And if you can build up enough energy to then bring it out, you can just sweep the rest of the team, more or less. But the reason why you still want some low-cost energy is I'm on a budget. A lot of these things get one-shot by Starmie. They all have under 90. Like, I have Electrode, I use him a lot. He gets one-shot. Electabuzz gets one-shot. Like, we're on a budget. Like, everything here, pretty much almost everything gets one-shot by Starmie. So since we have to work around that, like we don't have Zapdos EX, we don't have these fancy high HP cards. Like we're struggling. Like I don't have Electros. Like we're struggling out here. We gotta make it work. So it's really good to have sometimes like maybe again I'll go back to even Blitzel, like either of these. Like ideally the tiny eel because that's like more damage, that's 50. But even 40 is good enough. Even the far-fetched 40 without stab, or not stab, weakness? Super effective? Super effective, yeah. Even without super effective damage, Farfetch could even do, like as a basic low energy cost on your bench. Like it's really good because there's a lot of scenarios where you're about to kill a Lapras EX, for example. And like, let's say they start with Lapras EX, they have no energy on it, it's at like 20 HP, but on their bench, they have a fully stocked up energy Starmie EX that has 2 energy, and they have a Golduck with 2 energy, and they have another Lapras with 3 energy. So like, once you kill that Lapras EX, these heavy hitters are gonna come out, and they're gonna hurt really bad. So what I like to do is, let's say I have an Electrode in my active and I have a Farfetch, just because I'll just put Farfetch as like the general basic low cost energy unit. I can, well actually maybe let's do a different one because Electrode's a little, he's actually pretty good for the, he has no retreat cost, so that's actually really nice. But usually you have like at least 1 retreat cost. Let's say Zebstrika, yeah. Well, he doesn't hit super hard, but it's super effective. But sure, let's go back to Electrode. Okay, so you do big damage to the Lapras EX. You're about to kill it. It's at like 20 to 30 HP or something. And then if you hit it one more time with Electrode, it's gonna die, and Starmie's gonna OHKO your Electrode. So what you could do is, I like to retreat, throw in the Farfetch'd, kill it with the Farfetch'd, they come back out with Starmie, they revenge kill the Farfetch'd, you still have your Electro that can do 90 damage. It's not going to one-shot the Starmie, but you can at least do 90 damage back to the Starmie instead of like revenge hitting it for 40 with the Farfetched or something. Or yeah, so retreat, kill it with like something that you can sacrifice and fodder off. Even if it's like a, even if it's Blitzo, like Blitzo could also revenge kill or take the kill and then get sacked by the Starmie attack or the Lapras attack. So yeah, having low cost on your bench is really good, and it's a really good way to play around like on a budget, like when you just don't have those crazy high HP, high damaging, flexible cards. Yeah. Let's see what else. High cost, doing damage. Oh yeah, just doing damage. Oh yeah, then just putting basics. Yeah, putting basics on your bench is also nice, just in case when you eventually find the evolved form, then you can just automatically evolve it and then just throw it in. Just so having basics also low cost, plus you can evolve it sometimes, which is it's helpful. It's really nice. Let's see, what else do I have on here? I have general rule of thumb. Try to kill when you can. Like if you can get a kill on the enemy, do it. Sometimes I try to greed and just like greed for energy, but a lot of times it did not work out in my favor. So one example, Lapras EX, it's almost dead. It's at like 20 HP, but again, you have that Starmie with full energy in the back. You have Golduck full energy, another Lapras EX with full energy. So you're trying to like stall it out, and you're trying to stall and get as much energy as you can and build up your bench because you've been building your active Pokemon. And like if you use your active Pokemon, then they might get killed by a Starmie instantly, and you want to build your bench more. So you're trying to like stall out this Lapras since it has like 0 energy and it's at like 20 HP. It's about to die. It's very tempting to stall it, but I would recommend just to kill it. You should kill it because scenario 1, it has happened many times where it starts with 0 energy, it's about to die, and the very next turn it puts 1 energy on Lapras, and that's when you know you're in trouble, because it then uses 2x speeds immediately after, retreats it, and throws out the Starmie. And then Starmie sweeps, and you get 0 points from the EX that you just let retreat. And it feels bad. It feels real bad. And then scenario 2, same thing, has 0 energy on it, it's about to die. They pull a Misty. They pull a Misty, and then they get like 12 energies on it. And then it sweeps and it starts recovering as well. So yeah, kill if you can see a kill, try to take it, because it can swing the other way very quickly. And then even if it's like a Staryu or a Psyduck, I've also tried to stall these out. It does not work out in my favor usually. They're almost dead. They're usually building their bench. They have like no energy on them, but then all of a sudden they either evolve, get back more energy, and become more threatening. Even especially Staryu. Like if you just like let a Staryu live, it's such a terrible idea because Starmie EX comes out right after, and then it's a terrible time. Like yeah, I wouldn't recommend trying to stall it out, because a lot of times it just doesn't work out. It then is no longer almost dead. It gets HP. You don't get the kill, and now it's actually a bigger threat that you have to work around. Like if you let Psyduck or Staryu live to try to stall out, like it just doesn't work out a lot of times. I've played a lot of the expert games with just struggle decks, and yeah, just if you can get a kill, majority of the time, like 9 times out of 10, you should go for it. Like there's those rare occasions where stalling works, and it did benefit me from getting more energy that turn on my bench. But majority of the time, it doesn't. It just doesn't. There's just a lot going bad for you if you try to stall out. Let's see what else is on my notes. Okay, my other notes. Forfeit early. Yeah. The earlier you forfeit, because you're struggling, there's a lot of things that go wrong. You should forfeit early. It just saves you time. Once you see like there is no win condition, like you just wipe, just forfeit, restart. There's no penalty for restarting on these events on the solo. It doesn't drain your stamina. So I say forfeit early so that it just saves you time and you can restart and just re-roll and hope for a better game, because a lot of the games are you're gonna struggle. You have a very weak deck if you're on a budget. Like yeah, I'm just trying to save hourglasses for future packs. But yeah, you're gonna struggle, and like once you see like a lot of times, if you see Starmie EX on like round 3, which is like the very first time you can evolve, or round 4, that means they got second turn and they evolved. Like if you don't have an answer to this, you could definitely just forfeit just immediately. Like if you don't have an answer to Starmie EX on round 3 or 4 and it pops out, just forfeit, just restart, re-roll, and just hope that you get a better start and they start with EX Lapras or something. But yeah, it'll just save you a lot of time in the long run. Yeah, and also if you're going first, you're definitely at a disadvantage. Going first sucks, and it works for the enemy deck because they have Misty, and sometimes they'll Misty on turn 1, which also sucks. But yeah, and then like when you forfeit, just think of your own deck, and think of if there is a win condition. Like if I draw a certain card next turn, or I'll throw some energy on maybe my bench Voltorb in case my win condition Electrode gets drawn the next turn, and I don't draw it, forfeit, and then I do draw it, maybe I get a revenge kill and I get the win or something. Just always think about what's in your deck and what is that win condition. And a lot of the times, honestly, it relies on RNG. Like if you're struggling and you don't have a good deck, a lot of RNG mechanics actually come in clutch a lot of times. Like possibly one of my favorite cards is Pin Urchin, because it's 2 cost for paralysis. It's a 50-50 paralysis, and this thing has soloed against Starmie EX and Lapras EX. Like I have nothing in my active. I sacrifice it turn 1. I'm just building up this Pin Urchin for 2 energy, which is it takes a little while, but it's not as bad as 3, and it's not instant, it's not 1. But sometimes it is the win condition. It is the 50-50 you're going for. It's not consistent, but when you pull it off, you just need 1 win. You just need a win to get that promo pack. So yeah, just think about your win condition. And as for how many packs or how many Pokemon you need to start, so for my decks that I'm running that I've been beating EX on, like I think I cleared 20 on like a couple accounts already. I'm running at least, like my rule of thumb that I'm going by is have at least 2 multi-stage Pokemon. So like Blitzel or Zebstrika would count as 1. Dynamo plus Electric would count as 1. I wouldn't count Electros because I don't have it, and that's rare. Like I haven't pulled 1. Healisk and Heptile would count as 1. Yeah, like at least have Like Voltorb, Electrode would count. Magneton, Magnemite, Magneton would count. I definitely don't have Raichu. But yeah, like at least have 2 of them in some sort of combination. And ideally you have 2 copies of each. I do not. I'm only running 1 copy. So I'm running 1 copy of like Voltorb Electrode. Like 1 copy of Blitzo Zebstrika. I'm like real budget. So you need at least 2 of those, and I'd say get at least like 1 single stage Pokemon that is like decent. So like I'd totally count Pinerchin as one, just to like have something that you can have do basic damage and like maybe RNG it. Electabuzz I'd count as one, and I'd say just go for electric Pokemon and go for normal Pokemon. Since everything in their deck is weak to electric, electric takes priority. But don't sleep on the normal Pokemon. Like, I would definitely throw in Farfetch'd because it's free, everyone has it. It's very easy. I definitely run Jigglypuff on a couple of these. It's not great, but again, I'm on a budget, and it has 100 HP, so it can tank at least 1 hit from Starmie, which is actually pretty huge. So like Wigglytuff, I have like 1 Jigglypuff, 1 Wigglytuff, a Farfetch, and I think almost all of the decks that I run. I run Rattata Eradicate as well on some of them, just because like it can take 1 Golduck. That's about it. It can't take Starmie or Lapras, and it costs 1 to bite. Like it's not great. It's not ideal, but it can sometimes be 40s all you need to finish off the Lapras and sack the Eradicate for when Starmie comes out. And it's enough. Like, it's not ideal, but it's enough, and it works. I don't have any of these. I have a Pidgey. I don't have Pidgeotto, so I don't run that. Yeah, 3 is hard to get. I haven't tried Spearow yet. I haven't found one. Wigglytuff's EX is huge. If you can find one, it's super good. It's very, very good. It's possibly one of my favorite cards. It's very rare, unlikely, but if you can find one, it's very useful. I have not pulled enough for Persian. I don't know if I would run it. Like, Payday does help sort through your deck, but it's just not a lot of damage. Farfetch, 100% recommend. 100% recommend Farfetch. Doduo, Dotrio, it's there. I guess it's kind of the same thing as Eradicate. Yeah, it's more or less Eradicate. Lickitung, I have as like my single stage just in case. Sometimes it's the win condition. It's not a good win condition because it's a very high commitment to pull off, and it's a very low probability. So like it's not good. It's not consistent, but it could be the win condition. Chansey, it has high HP. You could probably sack it if you want to just stall for time and build your bench. Kangaskhan is it's good, but it's not consistent. I get a lot of tails. A lot of times I do 0 damage, but sometimes I'll get double heads, very rarely. On average, it's 30 usually, but a lot of times I'll get double tails and do no damage, and it feels bad. It's a gamble. It's a gamble. Haven't really tried Tauros. I don't have Ditto. Eevee, I would need the Eeveelutions. I don't have any Porygons. Don't have any of these. I do have one of these. I haven't tried it yet. I feel like it's kind of risky. It's kind of a high commitment. I don't know if I'd recommend it. Dubwool, I haven't tried it really in this mode. I feel like it's a pretty high commitment. I mean, if that's all you got, that's all you got. But yeah, I think those are pretty much all the cards that would be considered budgety and how you could possibly build your deck and work around just being on a budget to clear the expert level. Like, yeah, it'd be great to have a Jolteon or a Zapdos EX or a Raichu or a Pikachu EX, but if you're on a budget and you just don't have good luck, you just work with what you got. And yeah, hopefully this video helps you guys. Let me know what you think. I kind of just did this semi-spontaneously, but I don't know, I kind of wanted to do a little video on it just because help people out. Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Subscribe if you can. Let me know what you guys are running, or like what are some underrated cards that are budget friendly that you think could work. Actually, I almost forgot about Magneton. So I do have one Magneton on one of my decks. In terms of using it, I would highly recommend putting Magnemite on your bench and just leaving it there till you get Magneton if you have other characters. Because Volt Charge, the way it works is every turn you get a free energy. 4 is a lot, but if you just have it on your bench and you don't invest your active energy into it, it'll slowly charge up. And then sometimes like you just have no other option, and then you send it out with like 2 energy, and then very next turn Volt Charge again, and then put your active energy, and it's fully charged at, and you can do 60. So at first I hated Magneton because it's so expensive, but I think I was just playing it in the active too often, and I think if you play it on the bench, it works out much better. Oh yeah, also the packs. I don't know, I forgot this. At the very beginning, partially the reason why I was on a budget is because I was pulling all Mewtwo packs. I didn't realize this event was going to come, and it just came out of nowhere. And I had like no Pikachu packs at all. So for this event for Lapras, I would highly recommend pulling Pikachu packs until you get at least 2 multi-stage electric or normal Pokemon, and like 1 basic that you can just throw out. Like you could interchange it. You could be like 3 multi-stage. Like ideally, the more the better. I'm going like real bare minimum, like 1 copies, and then just throwing out the trainers. Also, oh yeah, also trainers. Ideally, you just copy this. Like you can get definitely 2 Pokeballs and research. If you're on a budget, you're probably lacking on cards, and you fill out with more trainers. And you can get them free from the shop just by playing. You can get Potion and X Speed. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8. That's 8 that's 8 cards right there. You probably don't have Sabrina. A lot of my accounts don't have Sabrina, and you're not going to be running Misty because you're going to be running Electric to counter it. Yeah. So pull on Pikachu packs until you get at least 2 of them, like 2 multi-stage. And that should be enough to clear it. It's not going to clear consistently. You're definitely going to have to forfeit here and there, but it'll be enough to get you through and get you 20 clears. The more packs on like Pikachu you pull, like the more copies you'll get and the better Pokemon you'll get, which is ideal. But yeah, if you're on a budget or you just have really bad luck and just cannot pull them, like I'd say that's a bare minimum, and then you just switch off a Pikachu because you just get sick of just not getting any pulls. But yeah, again, thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this video, if this helped. Hopefully, if the video does well, maybe I'll do more Pokemon TCG Pocket stuff. But yeah, until then, thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye.